Good morning, students. So this is our unit 4th. You all know that we have completed our 3 units. So this is the chapter biotechnology, its principles and processes. Now in this chapter we'll study about the wide concept of biotechnology, how the uses and principles involved. Biotechnology deals with techniques of using live organisms or enzymes which are obtained from organisms to produce products and processes useful to human beings. So, like this, making curd, bread, wine, which are all microbe mediated processes, could also be thought as a form of biotechnology. So, however, it is used in a restricted sense. So, today in this biotechnology chapter, we'll study some advanced processes, just like genetically modified organisms. You must have heard about BT cotton, BT corn, etc. I give you an idea about this in a previous chapter. So further, many other processes, techniques are also included under biotechnology. For example, in vitro fertilization, that is formation of test tube baby, and synthesizing a gene and using it, developing a DNA vaccine or correcting a defective gene, etc. All these are the parts of biotechnology. So the European Federation of Biotechnology has given a definition of biotechnology like this: the integration of natural science and organisms, cells, and their parts and molecular analogues of for products and services are all included in the biotechnology. The term biotechnology was coined by Carl Irecki in 1919. The important two core techniques that enabled birth of biotechnology are: first is genetic engineering and third is maintenance of sterile ambience in chemical engineering processes. So how this can be done? First of all, I will give you an idea about genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is the technique to alter the chemistry of genetic material, that's change in DNA or RNA, to introduce these into host organism and thus change the phenotype of the host organism. Means whenever we will include some other DNA or RNA from one organism to another organism, so the transcription and due to translation, new proteins will be formed and that particular product will be formed in the new organism in which we have implanted the DNA. So this is called genetic engineering. And maintenance of sterile ambience in chemical engineering processes to enable growth of only the desired microbe eukaryotic cell in large quantities for the manufacture of biotechnological products like antibiotics, vaccines and enzymes, etc. So maintenance of sterile means that whenever you all know about disposable syringes, that when we don't want any contamination, then we किसी एक बॉडी के अंदर अगर हमने डिस्पोजेबल सिरिंज यूज़ की है तो उस बॉडी के माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स या एड्स लाइक डिसीजेज या कोई और इस तरह की जो डिसीजेज हैं जो ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन से हो सकती हैं वो दूसरे पर्सन को ना हो जाए, इसलिए कभी भी एक नीडल दूसरे को यूज़ नहीं कर सकते. तो इस तरह से हम मेंटेनेंस ऑफ स्टेराइल माइक्रोबियल कंटेमिनेशन फ्री एनवायरनमेंट रखना है ताकि जो नई हमारे नए वो बन रहे हैं वो जो है वो स्टेराइल कंडीशन में बने. Due to previous knowledge, we all know advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction provides opportunities for variations and formation of unique combinations of genetic setup, which may be beneficial to organism as well as population. And on the other way, asexual reproduction preserves the genetic information while sexual reproduction permits variation, and these variation cause evolution in the long run. So traditional hybridization procedures used in plant and animal breeding very often lead to inclusion and multiplication of undesirable genes along with desirable genes. So the technique of genetic engineering, which include creation of recombinant DNA, use of gene cloning or gene transfer, overcomes this limitation and allows to isolate and introduce only one or a set of desirable genes without introducing the whole set of genes into the target organism. So we all know the fate of a piece of DNA which is somehow transferred into an alien organism. Most likely the piece of DNA would not be able to multiply itself in the progeny cells of the organism, but when it gets incorporated into the genome of the recipient, it may multiply and be inherited along with the host DNA. So this is because the ln piece of DNA has become part of the chromosome, which has the ability to replicate. So there should be in a chromosome, there is a specific DNA sequence that is called origin of replication. So about origin of replication, ORI site, we have studied in the chapter molecular basis of inheritance, where we have studied about the process replication, which is responsible for the initiating a replication. Therefore, for the multiplication of any ln piece of DNA in an organism, it needs to be a part of chromosome which has a specific sequence which is known as origin of replication. Thus, an ln DNA is linked in the origin of replication so that this ln piece of DNA can replicate and multiply itself in the host organism. This can also be called as a cloning or making multiple identical copies of any template DNA. For understanding genetics, you must understand what the plasmid is. Plasmid is a autonomously replicating circular extra chromosomal DNA. So we have studied about plasmid in class 11th. It is present in only prokaryotes. Apart from genomic DNA, there is present a small circular DNA that is called plasmid. Just like I'm taking the example of here Salmonella typhimurium, Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer accomplished this in 1972 by isolating an antibiotic resistant gene by cutting out a piece of DNA from a plasmid which was responsible for giving it antibiotic resistance. The cutting of DNA at specific location became possible with the discovery of some enzymes. We have heard about these enzymes in the chapter biomolecules in 11th, that nucleases. So these are called restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes जिनको molecular seizures भी बोलते हैं, जो डीएनए और आरएनए को कट करने का काम करते हैं, और जो जोड़ने का काम करते हैं उनको लाइगेसेस बोलते हैं, मॉलिक्यूलर ग्लू बोलते हैं. So the cut piece of DNA was then linked with plasmid DNA. This plasmid DNA act as a vectors to transfer the DNA attached to it. It's just like that we have studied about malaria. In malaria, insect is acting as a vector to transfer malarial parasite into the human body. In the same way, plasmid is acting as a vector here. In the same way, plasmid can be used as vector to deliver an ln piece of DNA into the host organism. This linking of antibiotic resistant gene with the plasmid vector became possible with the enzyme DNA ligase. As I told you, DNA ligase is a molecular glue जो जोड़ने का काम करता है, which acts on the cut DNA molecules and joins their ends. This makes a new combination of circular autonomously replicating DNA created in vitro and is known as recombinant DNA. So when this DNA is transferred into Escherichia coli that we taken out from Salmonella typhimurium, now it's included in the Escherichia coli, a bacterium closely related to the Salmonella. It could replicate using the new host DNA polymerase enzymes and make multiple copies. The ability to multiply copies of antibiotic resistant gene in Escherichia coli was called cloning. So you understand the process cloning of antibiotic resistant gene in Escherichia coli. So now we can, from this we can take information that there are three basic steps in genetically modified organisms. First is identification of DNA with desirable genes, then introduction of identified DNA into the host, and then third is the maintenance of introduced DNA in the host and transfer of DNA into its progeny.